another player that is sort of, man, I don't even know if this quarterback is in the news because of what he's done or because of what their team has done. But let's talk a little bit about Kirk Cousins, Jay. And I have been dying to just get some information on how he's progressing. What's going on with Kirk Cousins throughout his Achilles rehab? And there's been like nothing. I haven't seen anything. All I see pictures of is Kirk Cousins in khakis and a short sleeve button up with his family out in Atlanta. I haven't seen or read or saw a hype video for Kirk Cousins working out till last week, Jay. We got a first glimpse. Look at old Kirk Cousins here. He's out there, Jay, and he's throwing the ball to Darnell Mooney. I don't know where this was. I'm assuming this is. I don't know when.
Have to be.
Yeah,
it's funny when you pulled it up and I saw the 18. I'm like, is that Ryan Tannehill? Did he pull up the wrong?
It's not Tanny. That is Kirk Cousins to Darnell Mooney. Nice. So you got Cousins here. Let's play doctor. Okay, they say it's the plant Achilles, Jay. It looks like he's planting there on that back leg just fine.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's getting the ball out right to Darnell Mooney. This is a dart of a throw, but Kirk Cousins is on the field. Kirk Cousins is throwing a football, and it is May, Jay. So I'm just going to venture to say he's looking like he's going to be on track to be ready for the start of the 2024 NFL season.
Bayou saying that leg, though, Ray. You are the number one Achilles leg analyst in the fantasy streets. You have firsthand knowledge. So talk to me about the fragility of that. It looks tiny. Like Kirk surprisingly got some big legs, right? Bigger than Rodgers, I'd say, if just kind of comparing the pictures I've seen. It's, again, how do you think that could impact him? Especially on the plant leg, too.
The atrophy is real. You know, I tweeted that picture out. I'm going to try to find that picture. Go ahead. Talk about how you feel about Cousins while I find that picture so I can show folks.
So the big thing for me is I'm not concerned yet with Cousins. Like, I'm really not. I think we need to allow the doctors and the researchers to kind of take over here and say, like, look, this guy should be fine. Ultimately, he's throwing the ball with his arm. Yes, the plant and all that stuff matters. But when you look at Rodgers, when you look at Cousins, like, they seem like they're still fine to do what they've always done, not stand in the pocket and deliver the ball. It's exciting to see him working with Darnell Mooney because, again, that's another compliment to the offense that we want to see. But for me, Ray, the biggest question, honestly, is still Zach Robinson.
How
many months out was that?
This was, I was a few weeks into rehab, so
pretty new then. Much less.
I mean, you see the thing on the bottom. I was walking around, right? But you've seen me in person. I got big legs, dude. Like, I got calves. Like, I work out. But look how little that my cat, and it still hasn't fully recovered. Now, I'll say this, like, I could lift the same amount of weight that I could before, so the strength is there. It feels fine. It just looks smaller. So from everything that I've been told and what medical doctors responded on those tweets that I put out, they said there should be no issue with him moving forward. Again, I look down and I'm like, damn, that it's skinny over there compared to it's way smaller. But what people say is no issues. I still have the same strength. So for me to see Cousins on the field, this is a good thing. And, you know, I was talking to Damian Parson from the Draft Network. Shout out to DP. And I know a lot of people are saying that Penix is not going to play. Like, he's not going to get on the field. It's going to be years. From what I was told, like, Kirk Cousins is there this year. He's there 100% next year. But they can get out of that contract and save about $90 million in dead cap after the 25 season. So just vibe with me here, Jay. Say the Falcons aren't very good. Say there's some growing pains, some offensive coordinator changes, and they don't win the division this year. They go into 2025, and they start off the season slow. If they can save almost $100 million by releasing Cousins after the 25 season, and it doesn't work out this year, it starts off slow next year, wouldn't it behoove them to get Penix on the field to get some reps in with his weapons, with London, because they'll have to make a decision on London's fifth year after this season as well? Yeah. I think there's a real world where he's on the field sooner than people think, and I have been drafting him at the back of the first in rookie drafts or trading for him and using him as sort of like a pseudo 25 first-round pick. If I can't get a first, give me freaking Michael Penix, who if you stack him up today against the quarterbacks next year, at worst, he's QB2, QB3 in the 2025 class. So seeing Cousins on the field, encouraging for the prospectus and the outcome of the receivers, the tight ends, Bijan Robinson this year. We'll see how it all plays out, though, man. What are your thoughts?
So I think the biggest thing here that people are missing is like Cousins still has to be good, right? And if you draft a quarterback as high as Atlanta did, I think there could be some potential pushback from the owner to say, yeah, we're paying Kirk a lot of money, but like we still have to see if this guy is good or not. And so, Ray, honestly, even early in the year, if it's week 4, week 5, and the Rams, the Falcons, the former Rams staff believe that Penix can run the offense competently,
there's no
Kirk
way
isn't
that early.
Playing well,
there's no way that early, though. There's no way that early.
Why not?
Because they invest.
Why
You got to see it through a little bit. You cannot. They will not pull the plug after 4 weeks. You got to see it through a little.
Not saying you pull the plug, but even if it's okay, week 10, week 11, like what if the Falcons are 4-7 after 11 weeks, or I guess they'd probably have a bye week in there, so 4-6. Like they're clearly not performing to where they need to perform, and if Kirk can't get them there, I mean, at some point you have to say, like, what can Penix do now? What can we work on with him? Like, the biggest problem as well, Ray, is he's not going to get the practice reps with the starters, so that chemistry's not going to be there naturally. So I think when you're talking about the long-term prognosis of Penix, I like the idea it's going to be 2 years. You buy him and invest that it's going to be 2 years. But if Kirk is not good, and I mean like actually pretty good, winning games, competing in the division, then there's a world where Penix could play at any point almost. Maybe not week 3, week 4, but late in the year, the Falcons are out of it. You start Penix. You don't start Kirk Cousins. And then going into next year, it's can Penix win the job or do they stick with Kirk? But I think if there is an opportunity for them to play Penix, and it makes sense because Kirk isn't performing and the team isn't at their expectations.
This season.
Absolutely.
Jay,
if the Falcons are out of it week 17, Ray, out of it, like they've won 5 games, they're like 5-9 or something because Cousins isn't getting it done, then you play Penix, which to your point and why you're buying will elevate his stock tremendously and elevate it all through the offseason. So I think there's a world where he plays.
JRich gets it. For me personally, I don't think it's happening this year. Not outside of end of season. They're out of it. Put them in week 16, 17, 18, finish out the season. I feel like it's more viable in 25. But I guess just what information or indication that Kirk won't be good? He's been good for the past 10 years of football.
Hold on. He has been great for fantasy. But as a winning quarterback, man, he's kind of been so-so, right? If you're the Falcons, you don't care if he can put up 4,500 yards if he can only win you 8 games or 9 games or 10 games, right? Like that's not what matters to them at this point. They're past we just need a good – they need to start actually winning games. If you're paying him $100 million over the next 2.5 seasons, he needs to be winning you games, right? So I think didn't he just have
the Vikings as the number 2 seed in the NFC a year prior to him tearing his Achilles? I'm almost positive they were the 2nd seed in the NFC.
In the NFC, well, that was the year they got really lucky, right? They won they were 11-0 in one-score games, and then the next season they didn't win those one-score games, right?
And he got hurt halfway through. Well, he got hurt halfway through.
So he was 4-4 last season, but I want to say they really struggled. Didn't they open the season 1-3 or almost 1-4? They won 3 straight, and then Kirk got hurt. That's where again, everyone thinks that the NFC South is really bad. It's getting better every year. The Bucks are kind of getting better. The Panthers are getting better. So all those things, if the Falcons aren't improving at that rate, I do think there could be some problems for them. Okay. And I do think Penix is going to be on the field.